Well, hello, DirtFish friends. It's here, it's upon us. It's the opening round of the 2022 WRC. It is at last, David Evans, the Monte-Carlo Rally.
Finally, Colin, the one we've been waiting for.
Haven't we just? It's such a big event. You know, Rally Monte-Carlo, David, every year is full of anticipation, isn't it? It's full of excitement. It's full of the unknown. But this year, obviously, with all that we've seen with the new car developments, you know, it's just amplified massively.
Totally. 5 years ago, we were here, weren't we? Looking forward to those 2017 cars, what would become the fastest rally cars ever.
Yeah.
We were so excited about that, but now it's even more exciting because there is so much new. We've talked about it. You've read about it on DirtFish till the cows come home, but it's here. It's so
So the question then, David.
Yes.
The question then.
The question is, are you going to knock that cup
No, we've got
over the head?
Well, listen, by the way, folks, just to give you some setting of where we are clearly basing ourselves in Monaco for the week, and there's an awful lot more to come on dirtfish.com. But we found ourselves this evening in Sisteron.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, isn't it? And just over my right shoulder up there is the famous Sisteron stage. David, the question on everyone's lips. You know, we've been watching a lot of testing videos on YouTube and the teams have been putting the footage out there. How prepared are they? Let's look at the teams, shall we? Go through the teams. Ford were first into testing. What is your take on what we've seen of that magnificent looking M Sport Puma?
Firstly, it looks absolutely stunning, doesn't it? It's one of the nicest liveries I can recall ever seeing. They were the first out of the box with the car, out of the blocks, should we say.
Box and blocks, I think you can say both.
Yeah. In March, I think, was it? Late March when it ran for the first time.
Really as long ago
But then
as that?
Don't forget, it literally sort of ran around Dovenby, didn't it? But for sure, they have used all of those test days that they were given. How many test days were they given, Cole?
They were given quite a few, David. Quite a few. 32?
31 or 32.
Yeah.
You would have to say just simply the amount of time that they've had the car available to run and to test. And don't forget as well as those actual test days where they could come out here to test, they could go to the south of France to do warm weather testing. They could also run the car at their own test venue. So for M Sport it would be Greystoke in the woods. So M Sport Ford has to be the most prepared. They've done the most work, they've spent the most time with the car. Toyota was probably 6 weeks
They
behind.
weren't too far behind, were they? Really not too far behind.
And again, they've done plenty. They've done plenty, and also have a really good private test place in close to Vascular.
Forest around Vascular. They've got lots and lots of testing
Quite
tracks,
specific, really fast gravel, but it's still a good place to. Clearly, you know, we've seen them win 2 world championships out of the last 5, so it's a good place to build a rally car.
For sure.
So equally very well prepared. The big question for me is Hyundai. You know, how prepared are they? We know that car was super late, even as late as November, December time. Andrea Adamo told us it was completely new. Only the wheel rims remained from what you saw in Italy.
Yeah, and that, geez, that wasn't that long ago.
No, exactly.
It wasn't that long ago.
That's the point. And we saw Christian Loriot come in maybe 6 months ago, the new technical director at Hyundai, and he re-engineered the whole thing, almost a clean sheet of paper. So to do that, to go from scratch to having a car here in 6 months, it's a big ask. We've seen teams do it, but I would say Hyundai the least prepared.
So you've given us, the question was how prepared are they, and you've kind of gone along the lines of, well, first out, best prepared, last out, least prepared. I agree with that. I agree
simply
with that.
the amount of mileage they put in the car.
And that is going to be the big question, folks. There's so much unknown. You know, we know these guys will all, even Hyundai, who have had limited time to develop a new car, they will be magnificent cars. The chassis will be great. The engines will be great. They'll perform wonderfully.
The engine,
it's how it all works with this new hybrid unit is the question that we're still asking ourselves.
That's the crucial thing, Cole. So we know that the power unit, the battery, all of those, the gubbins that are in that box, in that carbon fibre box, are outsourced to Compact Dynamics, and Kreisel made the battery. Those are the bits that are coming into the car. The bit that carries the power from that box to the prop shaft, to the drive shaft, to actually to distribute drive from that electric charge, that's up to the teams. So you know, they've all come up with their own solutions for that. So there is still you know, plenty of scope for the teams to do their own thing and to go in their own directions. But you're absolutely dead right. It is We know that the chassis are going to be good. We know that the engines will be good. We just want to know how the hybrid's going to work. But having said that, don't forget, less suspension travel.
Yeah.
Less hydraulics.
No hydraulics.
No hydraulics.
Yeah.
No paddle shift. No centre diff. And 5-speed stick shift gearbox. It's, you know, in that respect, the cars are taking a big step backwards.
So we've gone relatively complex. It's not really complex. Relatively complex with the hybrids, but we've gone relatively simple with other systems there. So we've gone Rally 2, yeah, exactly. It is interesting, isn't it, David? Because we've seen in the past, maybe not so much in rallying, but certainly in Formula One, we've seen in the past where new regulations, completely new regulations have come out. There have been opportunities there for teams with really maybe a little bit ballsy, a little bit prepared to take a risk, you know, to come up with something that the others haven't maybe noticed, haven't looked at the regs, haven't interpreted the regs. Is there an opportunity that we might still see that?
We've looked at the regs, Colin. You and I look at them, read them, and we think, crikey, there is no loophole. There is no way forward with that. But there is. Of course, you know, these people, the Chris Williams, the Christian Loriots, and the Tom Fowlers of this world are incredibly, they're much more intelligent than you and I. You and I combined, we're still not that intelligent. No. Not even close. No. So no, they will find areas. You know, there was one of the smaller things. We saw the Hyundai running without any spotlights. Yeah. So they've got that new front end that they put on, and it's got the lights built in. So there's actually nothing to impede any cooling or anything, any airflow over the bonnet. Wow. So there is, there are ways. And don't forget, you know, back in the day when Christian Loriot first put the spare wheel in the essentially where the rear bumper went on the Focus, you know, we'd never seen that sort of
sliding
stuff
in the back there, just to give the balance and the.
So there will be stuff.
There will be stuff.
Yeah.
And do you know what, folks? There'll be an awful lot of stuff that we're learning as the week goes on, and myself and David will absolutely be on top of it. We will be seeking out the Chris Williams, the Christian Loriots, the Tom Fowlers, to get a better understanding, particularly.
We'll be somewhere near the top of it. That didn't sit too easily. We're never completely on top of everything. We're somewhere near the top of it.
We're going to try.
We'll be in the vicinity of it.
Yeah, and you know, I don't think it'll just be you and I learning this week. I think there'll be a lot of people learning, you know, and we're looking forward very much, in particular, to when we get out here. Now, David, do you know what was lovely today on our trip up here? To see all this magnificent snow around.
Snow everywhere.
And do you know
Absolutely
what? Meters of it.
Yeah, genuinely there was. There was an awful lot of snow. We've come over from Turin, Torino, so we've come through...
There's a wolf.
What?
What's a dog? It looks like a wolf. When did we start? Sorry.
We've come through. It is, good Lord. That's a big dog.
Good Lord, that's... It's a big, scary dog.
What was the question? So we come through Serre Chevalier and lots of places.
Yeah.
With lots of snow.
But when we got here to Sisteron, absolutely no snow. No snow. But listen, we're going to bring you a more detailed weather view just as we get a little closer to the start of the rally. But that is the one disappointing thing. It may actually not be a bad thing in terms of the new cars, because they want as few unknown factors as possible.
That was the one thing, wasn't it? When Malcolm Wilson, when we spoke to him back in September, or whenever the route for this event came out, and the teams all saw there is no service on Friday. There's no lunchtime service, so it's a tyre zone. So there's very little they can do to the cars. So the fact that it's consistent conditions, it'll help. It'll bring some respite to them. Yeah.
Oh goodness me! You know
but we're here.
We're here. We're Sisteron. You know, if we were standing here in a few days' time, we would probably just about hear those cars across the other side of that mountain, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
It's an iconic place here on the route of the Monte-Carlo Rally. We're excited, as you can tell. We're very much looking forward to the week. Folks, stick with us at DirtFish.com. The world's greatest motorsport journalist has got lots of typing to do. He's got lots of stories to tell. The world's biggest rallying gob, that's me. I've got lots to tell you about as well. So stick with us at dirtfish.com for all of the news before the rally starts, for all of the action when it does start. Dirtfish.com, place to be.
Now move, the dog's coming.